Good afternoon. We are bringing you commentary of West Ham United against Leicester City today from the Premier League. I'm your host, Russ Vernon, and we're joined by our commentators, Jack Cunningham and Mike Harniman. And you're listening to Football Commentary Live. A fantastic result a few moments ago for Newcastle United as they look to have kept their place in the Premier League next season with a victory over Burnley this afternoon. A 2-1 win coming from behind after Vidra opened the scoring for Burnley, but then goals from Jacob Murphy and Alan St. Maxim got the Newcastle goals to keep them, what looks like them, in the Premier League for yet another season. We're going to be joined shortly by Mike Ornament, ready for kick-off of this one at 2:05. But we are joined now by Newcastle fan and part of the commentary team for this West Ham against Leicester game, and Jack Cunningham. And very good afternoon to you, Jack. You must be delighted with that performance from Newcastle first and foremost.
Well, not so much the performance, Russ, but it was a must-win game. And this season, Newcastle have not won the must-win games. You know, they went to Sheffield United, lost. They went to West Brom and drew. There's been others as well. We went 1-0 down. I think I saw a stat that Newcastle hadn't won a game since 2018, going a goal down. I think that was against Everton in the 2018-19 season. So, just had to win. And luckily, when you got a player like St. Maximan to come on the bench, goal and assist, unbelievable goal as well. Brilliant individual skill by him. And then we clung on at the end. Burnley did what they did. They launched the long balls into the box, but we actually defended them well. We defended awfully in the first half. It's a huge win. 6 points clear the relegation zone now. I think Newcastle are safe for another season.
Yes, and we'll just go back to a big talking point in that game, the James Tarkowski challenge on Sean Longstaff inside the penalty area. Anywhere else on the pitch, I think it would have been given as a free kick. The PGMO came out at half time and said the reason behind why it wasn't a red card and a penalty to Newcastle was because of a like Tarkowski got the ball, and then if you go back to the Leeds Man City game, Cooper got the ball but also got sent off for winning the ball against Manchester City on Jesus. And VAR this season, very inconsistent, isn't it, Jack?
Yeah, I mean, what I didn't understand about the Tarkowski one is they looked at it for ages, and I don't understand how they looked at it for so long and decided that it wasn't a penalty. Like, the ball's come in, Longstaff's there to head it. He's going to get a clean head on the ball, might score because he's in a good position. So it's a bit unlucky. It's a bit unlucky with that one. And Tarkowski just literally boots him in the head, and they didn't give a penalty. I was absolutely staggered. I thought when I saw it on the replay, I thought they've looked at it for long enough now. He's going to tell Anthony Taylor to at least go and look at the screen to, for him to make his own decision. But they decided no. And as they say, VAR, there's something needs to be done about it in the summer because what it's doing consistently is exposing how bad the standard of English refereeing is.
Yes, absolutely, Jack, absolutely. And now delighted to bring in our commentator for the first half and then main commentator for the second half, as we're both Jack and Mike are going to be switching the roles for this afternoon's game. And let's say a very good afternoon to Mike Harniman. And Mike, how are you doing, mate? You okay?
Yeah, afternoon. Yeah, not too bad actually. How's things with you two fellas?
All good, mate. Thanks.
I'm looking forward to this game. It should be an entertaining game. This one, of course, two sides that are doing very, very well, and West Ham surprise package this season as well. Not as much Leicester, and that's says a lot in itself, really, considering where they were 5-6 years ago themselves. But it's West Ham that are a surprise package, but it's going to be a really entertaining game between these two sides, and yeah, it's going to be very open, I'm sure.
Yes, and Mike, just want to, if I were to ask you, Mike, for a prediction for this match this afternoon, which way, who would you say who's going to come out on top? West Ham United, or will Leicester sit together victory?
So you see, West Ham are actually done quite well if you look at their form against the so-called bigger sides. Of course, they got that draw against Tottenham earlier in the season where they come back from 3-0 down to get a point. And In the reverse, it happened against Arsenal, where they were obviously 3-0 up and then conceded the 3 goals. And it was largely down to West Ham that day, where Arsenal kind of got out of jail a bit. But I think Leicester are going to probably be too strong, really, if I'm honest. I think they're they've got a very good side out, as of West Ham, to be honest, as well. But I think Leicester will just edge this one. I'm going to go, maybe a 2-1 scoreline to Leicester. They'll win by just the 1 goal anyway.
And Jack, if I were to push you for a score prediction, what would you say?
I think it's going to be a 2-2 draw. I think second best home form in the Premier League. West Ham plays second best away form in the Premier League in Leicester. I think it's going to be a really exciting game and a 2-2 draw. And I think we're about to have the 2-minute silence now for Prince Philip.
Yes, and and what we're going to do now, we're going to take a couple of minutes break as we remember the life of His Royal Highness, the Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh. We have completed the 2-minute silence. So now what we'll do, we'll hand over to your match commentators. First voice you'll hear is Jack Cunningham, and he's joined by Mike Harniman.
Right, well, thanks, Russ. Thanks for that great intro, as always. So I'm going to go through the teams before we get going. So West Ham United have made one change from their 3-2 win over Wolverhampton Wanderers with Jared Bowen replacing Mikel Antonio. And their lineup is in goal, Lucas Fabianski, Vladimir Soufal, Craig Dawson, Issa Diop, Aaron Cresswell, Mark Noble, Thomas Soucek, Pablo Fornals, Jesse Lingard, Arthur Masuaku, and Jared Bowen. And for Leicester, there's 2 changes to the starting lineup that lost 2-0 to Manchester City, with Ricardo Pereira and Dennis Pratt coming in for Ayoze Perez and Mark Albrighton. And their lineup in full is in goal, Kasper Schmeichel, Wesley Fofana, Johnny Evans, Daniel Amati, Ricardo Pereira, Yuri Tielemans, Wilfred Ndidi, Timothy Castagna, Dennis Pratt, Kelechi Iheanacho and Jamie Vardy. So, Mike, what do you make of the 2 starting lineups just as we are underway here? So, give me your thoughts.
Yeah, so they pretty much picked themselves near enough. There's not an awful lot really that anyone would really do differently there. Of course, I don't really think there's a lot of changes that I'd have made personally, but as we said beforehand, it's going to make for a very open game, very entertaining game, and but at least we've both gone with goals, so that's something.
Yeah, well, now we've said that, it'll probably be 0-0. I'll be 0-0 for my half, and then yours will be like 3-3 or something. That's usually my luck. So we'll see how it goes. But it's straight away West Ham on the attack, and it's Soufal with the ball forward, and he is fouled in the corner. So if you're watching on the TV, we're in the 55th second of the game, so you can sync it up with your TV. And if you're listening just by anything else, I'll try and keep you up to date as much as possible. But as you said, Mike, I'm expecting a pretty exciting game. There is Jesse Lingard, who, well, David Moyes was speaking about not getting a striker in, obviously with Antonio being injured, and he said that he wouldn't be able to get Lingard instead. So you kind of understand why Moyes went for that. Maybe let me know what you think after this free kick. So this free kick got Bowen over it. Craig Dawson's got 3 goals this season, so a big threat from set pieces. It's Soufal, leaves it for Bowen. Bowen whips it in. It's a decent ball, headed away powerfully by Evans. Pereira gets there ahead of Masuaku. And that's an interesting header by Noble up in the air. Then Noble wins it again. Comes out towards Lingard, but Pereira just slices his clearance. It's gone literally miles in the air, and West Ham have it back through Aaron Cresswell. So yeah, what do you think of Moyes' comments there about a striker?
Yeah, so if you look at West Ham, they've always had the big man up top more often than not. So it's a surprise that they're going with Mikel Antonio in that respect on his own. But Jesse Lingard, everyone knows what he can do when he's on form at Manchester United, and he's the kind of player that was needed at West Ham. Bit of creativity, and I'm sure, there has been games even in that first half against Arsenal where he was pulling the strings and was really just getting at the back line and really causing all sorts of problems.
Well, I think he just lost his way at Manchester United, didn't he? And since he's come to West Ham, it's 6 goals and 4 assists in 8 games. No one in the Premier League has a better record over those 8 games. He just looks like a man reborn at the moment.
Yeah, 100%. And that's why he's got a call up into the England squad as well. And a recall, I should say, into that England squad. And rightly so as well. Very well deserved. And, you have to pick players on form. And he's the man in form in the Premier League right now.
Indeed, this is Soufal with the ball forward, hooks it away only as far as Fofana. Back to now Evans, and Evans thumps it forward in the direction of Vardy. Vardy wins the header. Can he link and find Iheanacho? He does, but Iheanacho's touch gets away from him. And up sweeps Mark Noble. Premier League appearance 401 for him today, Mark Noble, an absolutely incredibly experienced and, well, Mr. West Ham himself, isn't he? But he hasn't played that much this season because of the form of Declan Rice and Soucek. So he's got an opportunity here. But this is now Iheanacho with some space. Iheanacho hits it from range. Early one. Fabianski gets down comfortably. But Iheanacho showing the signs of a man in rich vein of form there, taking on a shot from about 25 yards or so.
Yeah, very much. I think Iheanacho is another player that, is on his day, can be a real handful up front. And of course, Leicester are not relying on Jamie Vardy anymore these days. So, it's to have competition for places is always good.
No, I mean, Vardy, actually, he's on a pretty, a goal drought for Vardy standards. It's 1 in the last 13 league games for Jamie Vardy. He has got quite a few assists in that time, but he's playing a more of a different role with Iheanacho, and not so much, as you say, Leicester not so much relying on his striking talents, and Iheanacho's stepped up in recent weeks. This is now Aaron Cresswell, who's played every single match for West Ham so far this season. Noble, a nice, neat flick around the corner in towards Pablo Fornals. He clips it back into Issa Diop, who's in the right centre-back position. Fofana, adjudged to a foul, Bowen there, and West Ham are going to have a free kick from about 35 yards from goal. Just about 5 minutes in here. It's been a lively start from the Hammers, I would say, but Iheanacho with the only shot so far. Noble takes it across and finds Cresswell. Cresswell tries to flick it into the box. It's flicked on. Oh, Bowen's going to pick it up in the corner. He's got Castagna for company. Gives him the run around. Bowen's still going. Slides it into Pablo Fornals. This is now Soufal, who was signed for about 5 million from Slavia Prague last summer, and he's been a really good sign actually for West Ham, hasn't he? The Czech Republic international.
You can look at the pair of them really, whether it's Soufal or Soucek. The pair of those two have both been exceptional this season, and West Ham fans are, the ones that I know anyway, are delighted with both of those buys, and yeah, rightly so. 2 exceptional players that have done very, very well this season.
I have to be honest, when Newcastle beat West Ham on the opening day 2-0, I thought West Ham were going to really, really struggle. But, I mean, Moyes has got to be contender for Manager of the Year because even if they don't get the Champions League, this has been an incredible turnaround from West Ham from nearly relegated last season. Didn't really add that many players last summer. Really, he's just found something that's, I don't know, it's just hit an absolute sweet spot, really. And showing he's still a really good manager as well.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
There's now Evans into Pereira. He finds Iheanacho, who's took a bit of a loose touch, but he's managed to get it over to Tielemans. And this is now Pratt, who's been injured since January. He returned to the bench last week against Manchester City, put straight in from the start by Brendan Rodgers in this game. Back to Fofana. This is now Evans. Both sides looking like they're playing with a back three. Evans with a long ball in towards Iheanacho. Iheanacho's in behind here. Hits it. First time on his right foot. Slices it high and wide in the end. But Iheanacho already showing he's not afraid to have an early shot.
That was a good opportunity there for Leicester as well. I know it was, very early on into the game, but maybe a little bit later on in the game, he might have kind of found his feet a little bit. But it's a good chance for Leicester there, and you'd probably expect Iheanacho to be hitting the target with that one, really, if you're completely honest.
Yeah, I think when you look at 7 goals his last 5 appearances, I think you have every right to be expecting him to hit the target there from there. Really, it was poor defending by Aaron Cresswell. Really, he got caught under the ball. Don't think Moyes will be very happy with that. He hasn't been very happy with this side's defending in recent weeks, actually, because they've been scoring a lot more goals of West Ham. But they've been conceding a few as well. I mean, that Arsenal game, they were 3-0 up, weren't they? And then they're just absolutely...
Yeah, 3-0 up within the first half. And then they, as you say, they imploded and that was it, really. There was 2 own goals within that time as well. And then, of course, the third goal, was Lacazette scoring that day. But in regards to that game, David Moyes, no surprise that he's come out and said what he said, because, when you're 3-0 up, you have to see those games through. There's no way you can be throwing those away and then expecting to, go on and achieve something in the season. Fortunately for West Ham, they've done it in the reverse, so it kind of evens itself out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, so it's like, they're 6th. That's a poor pass by Pratt. He had a lot of margin for error there to find Iheanacho, and he got nowhere near him, and West Ham regained the ball through Issa Diop. Diop slides a ball into Bowen, but Fofana's all over the back of him, and Leicester regain the ball through Timothy Castagna. Back towards Johnny Evans, who's that ever so reliable heart of that Leicester defence, into Vardy. This is now Ndidi. This is Pratt again. Leicester building a bit of possession here in the West Ham half. But I don't know if you remember the game at the King Power, but it was pretty much Leicester had all the ball and West Ham scored 3 goals on the counter-attack. It was the perfect away performance from Moyes' side at the beginning of the season. And that was what started West Ham's run to where they are at the moment.
Yeah, vaguely. I sort of vaguely remember it. And as you say, Leicester were the dominant side, and then they were beaten, quite convincingly, really, in the end. And I'm trying to remember who scored the goals right now. I'll have to have a little look up and see, because I'm, I can't remember at the moment. But I know it was a really good performance from West Ham that day. Yeah,
Pablo Fornal's got one, and I believe Jared Bowen scored one as well, but I'm not entirely sure on the other ones. But it's going to be a yellow card for Thomas Souček there. Late challenge on Yuri Tielemans. 6th yellow card of the season for the all-action Czech Republican international. But it's going to be a free kick to the Foxes. Tielemans, who was on the end of that, I'd say, robust challenge from Souček. And it's going to be Tielemans to clip it in. Well, referee spotted something he doesn't like, Mike Dean.
Just briefly as well, Thomas Souček, of course, he had that fantastic game for Czech Republic in the international break as well. He got a hat-trick, didn't he, as well, 2 weeks ago. It was very good there. And I'm sure they might even be a surprise bet on some people's card for the Euros, and I don't see why not.
He's been absolutely brilliant, to be fair. Ball played in by Tielemans there, and then in the end picked up by the extremely experienced Lucas Fabianski, who bowls it out overarm towards Aaron Cresswell, who's got 7 Premier League assists this season, including 2 against Leicester. He's now
it was Antonio Fornals and Jared Bowen. Russ had just confirmed that were the other goal as well.
Yeah, so yeah, Fornell's Bowen. Yeah, I knew I had them too. Right. This is now Daniel Amarty back to Evans. Amarty obviously playing in place of Sion Chu, who has COVID at the moment. This is now Fofana. He's been I don't know how much you've seen of Fofana this season, but I've really liked every time I've seen him play. Picked up for about £30 million from.
It winds me up so much when Fofana gets a chance at St Etienne and Arsenal bring in Saliba, and he literally gets loaned out time and time again. And they were, centre back partners in that side. It winds me up seriously. But Fofana has been exceptional for Leicester. But being the Arsenal fan that I am, it winds me up when alongside him was Saliba.
Sorry about that. Pereira was just on a bit of a run here, but it's 4 now.
That's right.
Slips it towards Bowen. Bowen trying to play that striker role in place of Antonio, but I mean, one thing is he's not exactly as physical as Mikel Antonio, is he? But he has got neat feet, Jared Bowen, and I think he's adapted to the Premier League really well since he moved from Hull City. I really like whenever I see Bowen, but I'm not sure he can play that long up front for West Ham. In the summer, they are going to have to buy a striker, aren't they, if they want to keep improving.
Yeah, well, I was looking at their squad as well, and they've literally only got, I think, one forward, and that's Ben Rama that can play up front. Yeah,
Lingard getting a shove by Fofana there, but that's absolutely no foul in that, and Tielemans can pick it up. And Fofana, as we said, been very impressive already, and I think he's made a great start of this game as well. He just eased Lingard off the ball there, who we all know how dangerous Jesse Lingard can be. So it's for 12 and a half minutes gone here. It's West Ham United 0, Leicester 0. I'll say the Hammers started the better of the two, but Leicester have had both the best chances, and now they're starting to take control of the game. This is now Yuri Tielemans finds Castagna on this near side of the left-hand side. Last time West Ham beat Leicester at home was actually at Upton Park. They've not beat them here at the London Stadium. 2014, goals from Stuart Down and Andy Carroll. That's how long ago that was, when they were two relevant and regular Premier League footballers.
It says it in itself when you look at Stuart Down in there, because that was some time ago, and I remember him more for his days at Middlesbrough than I do at West Ham. That's how much he didn't have much of a stint at West Ham, did he?
No, Vardy cleared by Soufal. Poor clearance. It comes to Pratt, who slips at the crucial moment. He would have had a clear shot at goal there, Dennis Pratt, but he just slipped. But here come Leicester again. West Ham looking very shaky. It's Castagna who's in behind. Castagna beaten to the ball by Fabianski. Excellent goalkeeping by the former Swansea City man there to come out and sweep the ball up when Castagna looked to be in on goal. But West Ham looking dodgy at the back so far.
Yeah, and of course it's not the first time this season. We mentioned that second half display they put in against Arsenal as well, and that half
Wolves
they put in against Wolves, against Tottenham earlier in the season. They've shown times that they're a bit vulnerable, and Leicester are trying to really get at that sort of back line and trying to cause them all sorts of problems. And why not? When you see their frail season, you've got to go at it.
This is Pratt again, back to Fofana. Yeah, and as we mentioned, Leicester do have the second best away record in the league. They've only lost once away from the King Power all season. It's been I think genuinely, if they'd turned their home form around, they would have probably been in contention for second, or definitely second in the league. But they've actually really struggled at the King Power this season. But then conversely, West Ham, second best home record in the league, so they've really enjoyed playing at the London Stadium. I saw some weird thing on TalkSport. Can't remember who it was, but they said basically that the reason West Ham are doing so well at home is because the fans aren't there, and I thought that was really, really harsh and a bit of an agenda against West Ham fans, really.
Yeah, absolutely. West Ham fans are normally pretty decent, to be honest, the majority of them.
Yeah, exactly. I thought that was a really harsh thing to say. I know that West Ham fans are unhappy with their owners, and rightfully so. This is Masuaku, finds Cresswell. Cresswell in behind, bats it off Amarty, and Amarty can't prevent the corner. And now it is a chance for West Ham to get a good ball in the box. And as I said earlier on, Cresswell has been pretty efficient from these set pieces. And Craig Dawson himself has 3 goals. Souček has 9 goals this season, so you know they're a threat from set pieces. Are West Ham?
Yeah, absolutely. Majority of Souček's goals have been from set pieces, I believe, if not all of them. Yeah.
Yeah, they go 16 goals from set pieces this season, the most in the Premier League. So Leicester, you would think Rodgers, knowing how good of a coach and a manager he is, he would have been working hard on this. But it's going to be Cresswell with the outswinger. He's got Dawson in there to aim for. He whips it over everyone. Dawson does get the header, and Schmeichel punches it and then collects it. Thought for a moment Kasper Schmeichel was in trouble there, but in the end he dealt with it rather comfortably.
And it was almost, a similar kind of to that last game as well, as we mentioned, where West Ham were 3-0 winners and Leicester had been on top, and West Ham would have been decided to nick the first goal again. So could have been history repeating itself.
Fofana with an excellent challenge to beat Bowen to the ball, and he finds Iheanacho. Iheanacho drills it in. It doesn't reach Jamie Vardy. Dawson clears. Poor clearance. Picked up by Pratt. Or every time Leicester go forward, they look inventive. They look creative. They look dangerous. They look a lot better than they did last Saturday, admittedly, against Manchester City, but still. Ball played. Here's Pereira. Cuts inside on his left foot. He clips it in. Headed away strongly at the front post by Aaron Cresswell. Picked up by Ndidi. Indeed, he flings it out to this near side where Castagne's waiting. Castagne finds Pratt, and Pratt wins a corner. Some great movement by Leicester off the ball.
It was good build-up play as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good build-up play and good movement there from Leicester, and I thought they were in for a moment, but it was good defending.
Now Leicester have a chance from set pieces. Not as prolific or big in terms of height, but, Evans has scored goals from set pieces before. Indeed, he has got a goal against West Ham before. So Tielemans clips it into the back post. That's not a good ball in. Well over everyone, and Cresswell can just take as much time as he wants over that. And now he drives it forward in the direction of Fornals, who was nearly in behind there, but good defending by Ricardo Pereira. That was exactly, poor giveaway. It's Jarrod Bowen. He's 4-on-1. He's got Lingard with him, and it's a terrible pass by Jarrod Bowen, in all honesty. Behind Lingard, to the left of Lingard. Could do absolutely nothing with it. And Leicester get away with one.
Yeah, they certainly did there as well. There was, as you said, 4-on-1, and he's only got a slide in, and then you've really, under the cost there, and you really got to, just rely on your keeper, I suppose, in that incident after that.
Yeah, definitely. And then and the form Lingard's in as well, you would have backed him pretty much 100% to have scored. Ball played out towards Soufal here. Well, Leicester won handball, but play continues. He travels inside and he finds Lingard. Lingard finds Masuaku. Masuaku looks up, whips it in. It's a brilliant ball. And Jarrod Bowen, he's hit the post there. Jarrod Bowen sliding in. That looks a painful one for Bowen. He's hit his knee off the post, but what a fantastic ball in by Arthur Masuaku that was begging to be put in.
Yeah, and that was the real, West Ham's first real chance of the game as well. And they might have taken it there. It was very unlucky there from Jarrod Bowen, as you say, a player that has come up and done very well from Hull. And, it's going to be interesting to see how he does through the middle. But he was certainly not far away from grabbing himself a goal there.
No, I mean, that ball in by Masuaku was in that perfect position where the goalkeeper can't really do anything about it. And in the end, he's just unlucky, Bowen. And it's good to see he can carry on. And this is now Masuaku again. First we've seen of him in the game, but that was a devilish ball into the box. This is now Fabianski. Still 0-0 here, but first 20 minutes has flown by, to be honest.
Certainly been chances for both sides. West Ham could have grabbed himself a goal just there through Bowen, as was just showing the replay just a moment ago again. And yeah, Leicester have had a few opportunities. I think Iheanacho is going to be disappointed he didn't hit the target with the very first one of them, but yeah, it's certainly a very entertaining and even game so far. And that did look painful for Jarrod Bowen there as well. It was, I think he's all right, but that certainly looks a painful one.
Yeah, definitely. This is Cresswell now. He's got Masuaku on the overlap, and we saw what Masuaku did last time. He looks to get it in the box again. He's trying to work some space, and in the end he plays it back to Lingard, who's popped outside the box, and this is 4-0 now. West Ham starting to thread some nice passes together, trying to work the opportunity in the space. This is Lingard. Clips it in. Souček was running in, but headed away. Dawson wins that one. Pratt now finds Iheanacho. Iheanacho had time. He had so much time, Iheanacho, there, and in the end, he's just gifted the ball back to West Ham.
I think he was caught in two minds of what to do there as well. I think he,
Yeah.
he's got to go with his gut instinct, but he kind of, was kind of dallying a little bit there and kind of couldn't make his mind up.
This is now Issa Diop, who started the last 8 Premier League games now. Issa Diop wasn't involved much earlier in the season, but with Anglo Ogbonna's injury, he's been allowed to come back into the side. Although Ogbonna is now back in training, so I'd expect to see him back soon enough. This is now Noble. Noble tries to thread the ball into Bowen, who's had to come out and try and come deep to get the ball. Finds Soufal. Into Souček. Back to Noble. Noble. I have to say Noble, and it's not quite as mobile, is it, as Rice and Souček as a midfield, but Noble's obviously got all the experience, but West Ham obviously miss Rice. I mean, he's such an incredible player.
Yeah, absolutely. But Mark Noble there, he drops back a little bit and he's able to kind of control it as Souček does as well. I think when one moves forward, the other one kind of drops back a bit and it kind of just helps the other one out. But I think, you certainly are missing the pace of Declan Rice. But then, as you say, they put the experience of Mark Noble in there, and just a moment ago, he held him off very, very well. And maybe Declan Rice might not have done that.
This is now Schmeichel. Take his time. Clips it into Fofana. Yeah, West Ham very happy. Let's have the ball here. Clearly got a set plan. Looks like Fornals has changed position as well. He's come a bit more central. There's now a Marty. Tielemans finds Ndidi. Ndidi does well. Finds Tielemans. Leicester have got out really well there. Pereira into Iheanacho. Iheanacho to Tielemans. This is some lovely play by the Foxes as they approach the box. Finds Vardy. Vardy turns, hits it straight at Fabianski. He had options there, Vardy. Probably could have played someone else in, but obviously maybe feeling his goal drought, decided to take on the shot. Very, very comfortable in the end, though.
Yeah, well, he's a striker. Of course, he's going to fancy himself to have a shot there, and whether he's in form or not, I'm sure he wants to play himself out of that. So it's you can't really blame him for having a shot there, especially in the position he was in.
No, he has scored 115 Premier League goals as well. This is Bowen in behind. Bowen in the box. Looking to get onto his left foot. Tries to slide it across for Lingard, but it's good defending in the end. Oh, I think it's going to be brought back for offside against Bowen, but new rules obviously mean that we play on from there. So let's have a look. Yeah, he is offside. In the end, it was good defending by Leicester. Just about 20 minutes to go till half time. Still 0-0 here. I think a draw would suit Leicester better than West Ham, you would say, for the top 4 race.
Yeah, well, I think Leicester. I'm pretty sure they'll get into the top 4. If I'm honest, I don't think West Ham are going to be strong enough to do that. But any European football for West Ham is good this season.
Yeah, definitely. I think they deserve it as well. I hope they do get something at least. That's a poor ball by Fabianski, but it's collected by Cresswell. Cresswell slides it into Masuaku. He's got 2 Leicester players at him, and in the end, he's done well to win a side throw. Now Dawson across to Diop. And straight after this, I believe we've got 2 games this evening. I know we got Tottenham, Man United, and we also do in Arsenal and Sheffield United and Arsenal.
Yeah, so we've got the 2 games. There's Matt Isles and John Kane doing Tottenham and Manchester United, and then we've got John Stoddard or JB making his debut covering the 7 o'clock game between Sheffield United and Arsenal as well. So a very busy, action-packed day.
Yeah, definitely. So that's a triple header on Football Commentary Live for you as we continue to bring you excellent commentary from the Premier League. This is now 4-0 as West Ham look to stamp some authority on the game themselves. Cresswell finds Lingard. Back to Noble. Lingard turns his man and slides it into Fornals. Fornals chops back onto his right foot. Flicked on by Lingard. Souček can't make anything of it, and it's hammered away by Evans, and Dawson brings it down. Well, in the end, it's going to be offside given against Souček, and looks like Fofana's down injured. That is concerning for Leicester.
West Ham really seem to fancy that ball as well, don't they?
They do.
They're using the same ball there through time and time again. Yeah.
I think they've obviously maybe identified that Marty isn't exactly Leicester's first choice for that left centre-back role. So I wonder if they've thought that, you know, they're going to get more of their joy going down there. And Fofana there, looking like as he's come down, he's caught his arm, but he looks like he's going to be okay to continue. But I did look quite nasty, that. Evans allowed to carry the ball out. Clips one over towards Amarty, who can't keep it in play. And just as I was saying, how Amarty's probably not Leicester's first choice, I'll just let the ball sail out of play there. This is now Cresswell, just on the halfway line. Going to take this throw. Finds Lingard. Lingard gets a bit lucky with his pass. Vardy was very close to intercepting it, but away come West Ham through Souček. Souček finds Soufal. Soufal travelling inside. Finds Lingard. Slips it into Cresswell. This is now Masuaku again. Masuaku, lovely feet to get away from Pereira. Whips it in. It's a brilliant ball again. Fornals can't get there. Soufal now. Can he deliver? Whips it into Lingard. Oh, it's a goal for Jesse Lingard. It's number 7 of the season for the Manchester United loanee. Soufal picked it back to him, and Lingard just hooks a volley into the corner, and it is 1-0 to West Ham United here at the London Stadium.
It was a beautiful finish as well from Jesse Lingard. Certainly a player in a rich vein of form there, and the confidence is oozing for him. And yeah, really well taken finish. And you know, West Ham on the back of starting the game pretty slowly have grown into it, and you know, on the last couple of minutes, possibly even deserve to be ahead.
That's a fantastic ball in again by Masuaku. Soufal does so well here. Picks out Lingard, and it's a great finish. He just wraps his foot around it, bends it into the nearest post. Schmeichel has absolutely no chance with that. And David Moyes' side just keep going. And Lingard just keeps scoring. There you go. 7th goal in 9 Premier League appearances for Jesse Lingard. It's also a 5th assist of the season for Vladimir Soufal. So again, 2 excellent pieces of business by West Ham, really.
Yeah, for sure. And it looked like, you know, from the first incidents there that it might have been the opportunity might have gone away from them, but they've done well to recycle it into the box. And of course, it was cleared again. But Jesse Lingard there, just on the edge of the box, right place, right time. And you expect him to be hitting the target from there as my notification goes off to say there's been a goal. Yeah, it was a lovely finish.
Yeah, it was. And Cresswell's going at the book now. Crunching tackle on Iheanacho. I think that's a pretty blatant yellow card looking at that. I don't think you can have any complaints with that one. I think some people would even argue could be a red. He looked a bit wild and out of control. I'm glad it wasn't a red because he's in my fantasy football team, but you know.
Well, I've got Souček in mind. Souček was booked in the first few minutes, so that didn't really help me.
Ball played back to Schmeichel. Let's see how Leicester respond here because, well, I mean, say they had arguably the better of the game, but West Ham certainly had grown into the match in the last sort of 5 minutes or so. And, well, with their first shot, they've taken the lead. But just Lingard at the moment, I mean, just in an absolutely rich vein of form. I did just put him in my fantasy football team, so I'll take that.
You've done well there with that one. And of course, we mentioned earlier that he's got to go to the Euros. I think, whether you see him as a starter or an impact player off the bench, he's certainly got a lot to offer.
Definitely, yeah. This is Fornals, isn't he? Soufal with the first time ball down the line, inviting Lingard onto it. And Marty, it's a bit of a loose pass by Marty, and Schmeichel has to come out and lash it away. Otherwise, Lingard was in again. And Marty there selling his goalkeeper short. Looks very uncomfortable, does Daniel Amarty so far. That is... Oof, he's got away with that one.
It just shows his vulnerabilities a little bit, and the fact that's not his natural position as well. It's they are targeting that side, as we said earlier, and if he's going to make mistakes like that, then I'm sure he's going to be targeted for the majority of this game, if not all of it.
Yeah, I mean, Moyes as well has a pretty good individual record against Rodgers, come up against him on 9 occasions as a manager previously, with his obviously now 10th. He's won 4 of those, so not too bad of a record. This is Vardy in behind. As we could see there, Gareth Southgate watching on. Well, Lingard doing himself no harm ahead of the Euros. I think he's definitely going to be in the squad at this rate, to be honest. This is Iheanacho. Turns, finds Castagna, who's got a bit of time. Slips it into Pratt instead. Pratt into Tielemans. Tielemans thought he was going to shoot. Instead, he just skips away from his man and then tries to get the cross in, but it's blocked well by Masuaku. It's going to be a corner. 32 minutes gone here is West Ham United 1, Leicester City 0. I'll have to have a look what that does to the Premier League table. Just give us a minute.
I've got it up in front of me. In fact, now it sees West Ham up to, I think they might even be up to 5th or possibly even 4th. They're actually going to jump above Chelsea into 4th. Yeah.
Yeah. With 7 games to go at the moment, as it stands, West Ham United are in the top 4. And as they come away on the breakaway, Fornals has been taken out there, and I think we're going to have another yellow card. Mike Dean dishing them out. Does like a yellow card, does Mike Dean. He's not been afraid to get his yellow card out so far on this one. It was blatant yellow card, wasn't it? Fornals wiped out there by Pereira. Makes no effort for the ball.
Yeah, you can't argue with that. No, you can't argue with that. As much as some people like to argue with the fact Mike Dean, loves to be a little bit card happy at times. He got that one spot on.
I think all of the yellow cards have been fair enough, actually, to be honest, in this game. But yeah, you are right. He does like to be card happy. But I think in this game, all the yellow cards have been fair enough. But shows that this game's been played at a high intensity. As I say, it's flown by, to be honest, this first half. Really enjoyable match. Masuaku showing
you've not had
again, but you can't.
I was just going to say you've not had no goals in your. I was just going to say you've not had no goals in your half, so you've certainly not jinxed yourself. You've kind of you might have got away with it as such. You might have a 1-0 half-time scoreline, but then the second half there might be 2 or 3 more, as we said earlier.
You can definitely see more goals in this one. Just feel that both teams look much better going forward than they do defensively. Going to be a throw to Leicester. Fofana there winning it off Bowen. I think Bowen thought it was West Ham's throw, but that's not how the linesman saw it. It's about 10 minutes ago, 10 minutes or so till half time. Still 1-0. Noble beaten Iheanacho to the ball. Leicester slowly advancing up the pitch. Fofana finds Pratt.
And of course, you're keeping an eye on this one for another perspective as well, because your boys Newcastle face off with West Ham next weekend.
Yeah. Obviously, Newcastle won. Yeah, early in the day, so I was really happy. I think we're safe. Obviously, we're playing West Ham next week as well, so we'll have to see what happens there. This is Pratt now sliding the ball in behind for Vardy. Vardy was trying to find Castagna, but he finds Pratt instead. Back into Jamie Vardy. Vardy clips it over towards Tielemans. Tielemans bundled to the floor by Mark Noble, but West Ham got out really well there and stopped that attack.
Yeah, and of course West Ham, I was just looking there at some of their fixtures. They've got a fairly favourable run in. I know they've got to play Chelsea and Everton, but other than that, it's a decent enough running of games that they can certainly pick up wins and certainly a few points in, yeah.
They have a really good chance of getting in the top half to win this. This is Pereira. clips it over the back post. Vardy there. Vardy knocks it across. Evans, can he get there? No, it's smashed away in the end. And Leicester come again, but from that set piece there, West Ham look rather shaky. Vardy manages to win that header very, very easily. Tielemans slides it into Pratt. This is now Fofana trying to work the space. Can't. Picked up by Soufal into Souček. It's a Diop. Plays it across to Cresswell. West Ham can get out now. Through Masuaku, who's had a very, very good first half. Noble.
Yeah, of course. And I was just looking there. They'll only be 1 point behind Leicester as well, and only 5 behind Man United. I know they've still got to play Tottenham, but if things go in their favour, with that result, they could only be, maybe 5 points off getting second. And what a season that'll be for West Ham. So to finish behind Man City in the league.
Yeah, I mean, if Moyes is not manager of the season already, then I think that would definitely secure his place as manager of the season if he manages.
Yeah, it would certainly push it in his favour.
Yeah, definitely. This is Pratt now trying to work the space. In the end, he's forced all the way back. Fornals has worked so hard for West Ham in this game so far. He's everywhere. This is now Amartey travelling forward. Iheanacho, Tielemans into Amartey. Oh, lovely ball. Tielemans into Iheanacho. Gets onto his left foot. Blocked brilliantly. And it's going to be a corner, but that was some lovely play by the Foxes inside the West Ham half.
It really was. It was some really good movement and actually some good defending from West Ham there as well to get it clear and get it away. But, that's what 3 times Iheanacho's been in now, and he's still...
Yeah.
I don't even think he's Lucas Fabianski yet. I think all of his efforts have been off target, but he's getting in the right places anyway.
Flicked on by Ndidi there. It was a good ball in by Tielemans, but away from West Ham through Bowen. This is where West Ham are dangerous. It's a brilliant ball. It's Soufal. He's got Fornals in the box. Soufal still going. Will he pick the right pass? He plays it back to Lingard. And Lingard can't get out of his feet. And in the end, you have to say Soufal made the wrong pass. And away come Leicester now through Fofana. Fofana finds Jamie Vardy, who's one-on-one with this Diop. This is what Vardy likes to do. Run at people. Goes on the outside, Vardy skips by him, but good tackle by Souček. And Soufal is then fouled. But that was some excitement, wasn't it? It's a great break by West Ham. The pass he is put, but Soufal just makes the wrong option, doesn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the end-to-end that we were saying about. It was literally, one way then the other. It was to and fro in, and it was both sides there. That was a great counter attack to try and get that second goal for West Ham there. And of course, I think he did make the wrong decision there. But look, you see the amount of space he's in. He's only got to feed him through, first time probably, and then he's going to fancy himself against Kasper Schmeichel there to bury that and make it 2.
Yeah, I think Fornals was free, wasn't he? He's got to whip. He's got to just play it across the goal, across the face of goal to Fornals, and it's probably 2-0 at West Ham. But that was a great counter attack. And that's what West Ham have been so good at this season. Those counter attacks. Just on that occasion, the wrong pass from Vladimir Soufal, and the score remains at 1-0. Tielemans now.
And they're defending very well, actually. If you look at West Ham's defending as well.
Yeah. This is Pratt into Pereira. Pereira finds Iheanacho. Can he turn in the box? He tries to find Pereira, but look who's there again. Souček covering. That was a unwise flick by Lingard. Pereira's trying to bundle his way through. He's still got the ball. Pereira in the box. I've no idea. He still has the ball there. This is Tielemans. Tielemans whips it in. It's Vardy. Oh, it's not going to drop for Vardy. And it's headed away by Soufal. Headed away by Fornals now. This is Bowen, and then smashed forward by Noble. But that's actually a really clever pass into the path of Jesse Lingard. It's a great game of football. Lingard going to take on Amartey. He's got Masuaku on the overlap, but he just slows it all down. Just Jesse Lingard showing his experience, because he's not a young man, and like some people always seem to think he is. He's 28. This is now Cresswell into Noble. And Cresswell all the way back to Fabianski. He drills it all the way out of play. And Leicester will have a throw. Bit of a breather, actually, because this has been a pretty non-stop game, hasn't it, Mike?
The last 15 minutes there have been very frantic. It's been end-to-end in the last sort of 15, 20 minutes. It's really flown by.
Silly foul by Mark Noble there on Iacho. No need for it. He was going nowhere, but gives Leicester a free kick. Just taken quickly by Marty. This is now Evans in that central centre-back role. Finds Ndidi back to in. Sorry, that's Ndidi. This is Fofana. Ndidi playing as a centre-back at the moment.
Yeah, he's dropped in just for a minute to cover that.
Yeah. Marty with a clever ball down the line to Vardy. And it's going to be offside, I think, given against Jamie Vardy. Otherwise, well, could have been a penalty. I look at a late tackle on him.
Yeah, possibly. I want to see that again. See the replay, but
close. He's bundled to the floor. Let's have a look here. It's played into Vardy. He gets stood on by Craig Dawson.
You've certainly seen them given before.
You have, but you have definitely seen them given, but he's been given offside, so. Nothing doing as far as that one's concerned. Fabianski takes the free kick, but that's what Vardy's so good at, isn't he? He wins so many penalties. And if you look at his Premier League career, how many penalties he's won, he's just always got that, because he's so lightning, he's got that first touch, just draws defenders in.
Yeah, I just saw the replay
he's 34 now, he's not lost his pace.
No, absolutely not. He's very experienced and he knows how to win the fouls, but I've just seen that replay again and another time there. And yeah, it looks like he's just offside, but
yeah,
I think actually he might have just been outside the area. So it probably would have just been a free kick on the edge. I don't think he was in the area.
Yeah. Just about 3 minutes ago, it's half time. And then in the second half, Mike will be taking over as his main commentator, and I'll be doing co-coms. This is just an interesting way we decided to do this match. And hope you're all enjoying it, whoever's tuning in so far. This is now Marty. Cuts back to Tielemans. Tielemans shows some nice feet and dinks it over the top, but Vardy's not going to get there. But he signals that he thought it was a good idea to Tielemans. Just not quite the execution on that occasion. It's a Diop. Drills it forward. Bowen. Is he onside? Jared Bowen's in behind here. He plays it across to Lingard, who taps it in, and it is 2-0 to West Ham United. Jared Bowen just played it across to Lingard, and he couldn't miss. What an absolutely fantastic ball over the top that was to Bowen. Slides it across to Lingard, and if he's not offside, it's 2-0 to the Hammers. Oh, it's close.
Yeah, it's a great finish as well. Jesse Lingard, as you say, couldn't miss and doesn't miss, but I think he might just be ahead of play there. So it could be.
Might be ruled out.
The VAR is going to look at this.
It's a brilliant ball over the top by Issa Diop. Absolutely superb. Just perfectly in the path of Jared Bowen. Well, we're going to look at the lines here. Well, looking at that. But how can you tell from that angle? It's not in line, the camera.
That's what we were saying. I jumped in earlier on as you were saying about VAR. And to put it nicely, VAR is consistently inconsistent. That's the best way of summing it up.
Well, I was saying to Russ, it's just onside. It's been given onside. It is 2-0 to West Ham. Bowen here. Clever pass to Lingard, and he cannot miss. And there he is to tap it in, and he cannot score it at the moment, Jesse Lingard. And it's the perfect time to score a goal as well. Just before half-time, West Ham 2, Leicester City 0. They're doing what they did at the King Power.
Yeah, absolutely. He rolled it across to him perfectly there, did Jared Bowen. I wasn't sure about whether he was onside originally, but when you look at it back, I think they've got the call correctly there. And it's, you can see again there. Yep, certainly. If he's offside, it would only be by the slightest of margins, maybe like a toenail or whatever. It would literally be that fine a margin, but I think he is just about onside there. Yeah.
And Leicester have it all to do now. Can they get anything before half time? They've got 2 minutes of added time here. It's Ndidi, but the game's just set up perfectly for West Ham now, isn't it? Like with Lingard on the break, with Bowen on the break, with Masuaku as well at wing back as well. They've got pace all over the pitch. It's just perfectly set up for West Ham now. This is Tielemans. into Iheanacho. West Ham keeping it really compact, and they forced a mistake again. It's Jared Bowen now. Tries to shove it past Fofana, but he reads the game well and picks up. What a brilliant ball through by Tielemans. Just too much on it for Pereira. I don't know how Tielemans saw that. I couldn't even see that. That's incredible vision to see that ball.
That's what he's like, though. You've sort of
he's unbelievable.
Always known that about him. Whether it's club or country, he picks out a pass, passes that he shouldn't be picking out, and he's able to just do it and pick the pass out perfectly. Yeah.
Oh, Fofana going in the book now. Mike Dean indicating he's 3 fouls, all on Jared Bowen. And there is Wesley Fofana in the book now.
Just got some added time. We've got 2 minutes stoppage time there, and I think Leicester will be quite pleased to go in at the break and to be able to regroup.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost exactly like how the game at the King Power went at the moment. Leicester with most of the ball, but West Ham just devastating on the break. Clinical as well. Such clinical finishing from West Ham. Because Schmeichel's not had a save to make. He's picked the ball out the net twice.
Yeah, and he's picked out. Yeah, exactly. He's picked the ball out of the net twice, and other than that, I think that was probably. I don't think they've had too many other shots or attempts on target either. West Ham.
Straight at Schmeichel. Yeah. That's a good flick by Vardy. Iheanacho to it by Dawson. Yeah, the Lingard one before that went straight at Schmeichel, but apart from that.
And that was good defending as well, though. If you look at that other one where Lingard wasn't able to get his shot away, I think that was actually the centre-back. I think it might have been Fofana at the time, or I'm not too sure whether it was him or Amasi, but they actually closed him down very well, and he didn't actually get a opportunity to get a clean shot away.
And there is the half-time whistle here at the London Stadium, and it's West Ham United 2, Leicester City 0, and it's Jesse Lingard. This man just cannot stop scoring with his 7th and 8th goals of the season. Remember, he only joined West Ham in January, so all of them are since January. What an incredible signing he's been for David Moyes. But at half-time here, it is West Ham United 2, Leicester City 0.
Thank you very much there, Jack and Mike, for the fantastic first half commentary there. West Ham United 2-0 up and in cruise control, I would say, going into the second half. And Leicester have never really been in the. And a couple of chances, off chances, when none that really troubled the goalkeeper. Lingard with a brace and on for an hat-trick already. And as Mike rightly pointed out, on commentary they'd be heading back up to 4th above Chelsea, point above Chelsea, and 3 above Liverpool going into the next round of fixtures. And they'd be a point behind Leicester, so if they were to win the following game as well, West Ham United, which is against Newcastle, but you never know with Newcastle winning today, but you never know Newcastle could prove a shock, but you would expect West Ham to win that, and Leicester lose their next game after this, then West Ham will go above Leicester into 3rd place and would just be a couple of points behind Manchester United should they lose to Tottenham later and should they lose the next game as well. Manchester City going fairly well in the Premier League table as well. Top of the table, 14 points clear. Had a chance to go 17 points clear yesterday, but missed that opportunity when Leeds United turned up and Stuart Dallas netted a brace in that one. Looking ahead to the other fixtures which are happening today up and down the country, I'll be able to bring up with some scores in the Women's International Friendly. It finished Japan 7, Panama 0. That result we've got in tours earlier on in the Premier League. Burnley 1, Newcastle 2, as I mentioned. Fantastic result for Newcastle. In La Liga, Villarreal have lost 2-1 to Osasuna. In the German Bundesliga, Schalke are leading Augsburg by a goal to 0, 23 minutes gone in that game. A result in Italian Serie A, Inter beat Cagliari by a goal to 0. In the Bundesliga, German Bundesliga again, just to go back to that for a second, SC Cologne taking on Mainz at 5 o'clock this evening. We'll bring you up to date with that result just later on in the other match. And how the result will bring that to you in our next one of our next couple of broadcasts that we're fetching to you. Half times in Serie A, Juventus are 2-0 up against Genoa, Napoli 1 up against Sampdoria, while Hellas Verona against Lazio, they're currently goalless. Roma v Bologna and Fiorentina v Atalanta will also play later on this evening. In French Ligue 1, Rennes beat Nantes by a goal to nil earlier on. In half-time scores is Brest 1, Nimes 1, Lens 2, El Orient 1, Nice 0, Rennes 0, Saint Etienne 2, Bordeaux 1, Monaco take on Dijon at 4, while Lyon take on Angers at 8 o'clock this evening. In the Australian A-League, Wellington Phoenix beat Western United by 3 goals to 2 in that one. And a player over there from, who I know quite well from his Cameroon was, I should say, is David Ball, but wasn't on the score sheet today for Wellington Phoenix. But good luck and well done to his side for getting the win earlier on today as well. Some more great football action happening up and down the country and around the world as well. We'll bring you more results. We'll bring you the results of some of the matches. You're currently at half time at the conclusion of this before we wrap up. I'm just going to go back to this game now and just fetch in the summariser for the first half, Mike Harniman. And Mike, you said in there that the Lingard couldn't miss for that second goal. He was, as you mentioned, put on a plate for him. If you go back to the one where it is straight to Michael, where that was a good effort from Lingard as well, do you think he could have pulled that one either side of him and possibly instead of putting it straight down his throat, or do you think he did the right option there, Mike? Not sure where Mike is in the moment. So, Jack, what did you make to that effort? Do you think he could have put it either side or instead of straight down the goalkeeper's throat, or do you think he did the right option, Lingard, the one where Schmeichel had that easy save? We were waiting to hear from the guys who were on commentary duty about their thoughts on
I was
just.
muted. Sorry, I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, what did you make to it, Jack? Do you think you could have
Yeah,
put it either side of Schmeichel there, or do you think he made
no,
the right option?
I think Soufal made the wrong option. I think he should have played it across the 4 nails, and then it would have been 2-0 because he can't miss. He can't miss really. He would have been played in. Playing it back to Lingard, I think Lingard did as well as he could with the shot in the end because it was behind him and he managed to dig it out. I mean, Lingard in the first half been absolutely everywhere for West Ham. That first goal, what a finish! What a finish that was. Just bent his foot around it. Again, that was sort of behind him, but he managed to whip it into that near post. And then second goal, can't miss. All about Bowen showing the composure. All about the unbelievable ball over the top by Issa Diop. Absolutely perfect for Bowen. Luckily, VAR on the right, getting it right this time, not giving really tight offsides against the attacker. So really pleased to see that. West Ham have just been absolutely incredible this first half, to be honest. Really, really impressive.
Yeah, I'm looking at the stats here. Since Lingard's debut on February the 3rd for West Ham United, he has made 11 goal contributions. That's more than any other player up there. Just behind him is Harry Kane with 9. Obviously, Harry Kane will be involved later with Tottenham. Then Gabriel Jesus, he's got 7 with 5 goals, 2 assists. Kane, 7 goals, 2 assists. Iheanacho's up there with 6 goals since February the 3rd. Gundogan, 5 goals, 1 assist. Also on 6 is Gareth Bale. He's got 4 goals, 2 assists, along with Red Mahrez and Bruno Fernandes. Leeds United's Patrick Bamford is up there with 3 goals and 3 assists to his name since 3rd of February. And Mikel Antonio, 2 goals, 4 assists. And just looking at that, list of players there, which I've just read out there. Jack, are you surprised by any of the contributions in that, or
Uh,
would you say it's about the right from what
yeah, I
you say?
mean, I suppose Ian Atro has been in unbelievable form, hasn't he? He's been another one who really struggled at Leicester initially. Then he sprung into life. He's been lively today, to be fair, Nacho. He's had a few shots. I think Mike mentioned he probably should have done better with that one with his right foot that he sliced when he was in the box. Had another one blocked. He had another one that went straight at Fabianski. So he's been pretty lively. And then Lingard, I think he's the surprise one. I think when West Ham signed him on loan, I thought he'd do okay because I thought, how bad he was for Man United last season. I think he scored one goal all season, and that came against Leicester on the final day. You know, he's just been, but he just shows you that you don't become a bad player overnight. You just need someone to trust in you and give you the confidence. David Moyes has brought Lingard in, and I think he's just said to him, I believe in you. I believe you've got the talent. I'm just going to let you be free. And he lets him be free, and he just picks up these brilliant positions, and he just comes up with just brilliant goals. I mean, all of his goals he's scored have been clever or, showing intelligence or brilliant strikes. I think obviously that goal against Wolves he scored on Monday, that absolutely fantastic individual goal where he ran half the length of the pitch and then fired it past Rui Patricio. I mean, he's got to be in the Euro squad, hasn't he? If you're picking players on form, I know people would say, we should go for someone else. But in my opinion, if you're picking people on form, Lingard has to be in that Euro squad. And he's been an unbelievable signing for West Ham.
He has a fantastic signing for West Ham since he joined them on loan back in February. So, looking ahead to this second half, then, Jack, you're going to be on Corcom's this second half.
Yep.
Do you think there's going to be any way back for Leicester if they get the next goal, or do you think if West Ham get the next goal, it's going to be all over and even more hard work for Leicester to get back into it?
Look, Leicester have to get the next goal. If they don't get the next goal, it really is all over. But this is really like that game at the King Power, as I mentioned in the first half. West Ham won 3-0 in the end there, and the game is set up perfectly for them to hit Leicester on the break again and score more goals. So Leicester are going to have to push forward, but their bench is quite weak. I mean, they haven't got Maddison, they haven't got Perez, they haven't really got anyone on the benches. There are a few youngsters, but it's going to have to be with this team, you would think, for Leicester to make the difference. So they have to get the next goal, otherwise, I think it's all over then. But as I say, it's perfectly set up for West Ham now. They can do literally, like, they can just hit Leicester on the break as they will now, as much as they want. And with Lingard, with Bowen, with Fornals, with Masuaku, they've got pace, they've got creativity, they've got intelligence. So I can see more goals in it, but I don't necessarily see them for Leicester.
Yes, Mike is here again now. Mike, if you look at that performance from the first half from Leicester City, Mike, if they don't get the next score, if they get the next score, do you think they can get something out of it, or do you feel that West Ham will still be too strong for them?
So, yeah, West Ham have been very, very good in that first half. I think Lingard's been putting the strings. I think Bowen's looked lively as well, playing in that unfamiliar role to him. But I think Leicester really do need to get the next goal. And as was mentioned, they've only got possibly Albrighton on the bench. They've got a lot of youth there as well. The last, 5 players on the bench there from Thomas downwards are all sort of younger, more youthful players. Not even sure what position half of them are in. But I think Albrighton's the only real attacking option that Leicester have got on the bench, and it all depends on what they can do when West Ham starts to tire. Because yes, I'm pretty sure Michael Brighton will get on at some stage, but other than that, the rest of them are either youth or largely defenders as well, and sort of more sort of based around that. And if you look at West Ham's bench, they've got Ben Rama that can come on and get a tiring Leicester defence possibly, and there you go. That could be all over there if Ben Rama's on, and they've even got Balbreno as well, and there's a couple of other players on there that might be able to make a difference for West Ham. But I'm sure Ben Rama will come on at some stage to try and get them a goal to seal it as well. But yeah, I think it's certainly, from a Leicester fan's perspective, I'm sure Brad and anyone else that's listening know that they need to get the next goal. Otherwise, this is certainly going to be West Ham's to lose.
Yes, and also, Mike, if you go back to the effort where Lingard had that shot and he went straight to Kasper Schmeichel. Obviously, Jack said he thinks it was a poor ball from Kufal to, instead of playing it to Lingard, he should have played it to Fornals. Do you feel the same, Mike? Do you think he played the wrong option, or was it the right option, but just Lingard couldn't skate out to his feet in time?
It's happened a couple of times that potentially the ball could have been switched either quicker or switched more diagonally to the opposite flank or the opposite side to an on-running player, I should say. But I think that one, he's trying to find Lingard. He knows the form that Lingard's in, so he's just trying to pick him out. He knows that more often than not he's going to get his shot away and get him on target and test the goalkeeper, and that's what's happened in that first half. He's got 2 goals. And don't put it past him to go on and get a third in that second half when Leicester are trying to attack down, and leaving it open for him as well. So there's every opportunity for Jesse Lingard to get a hat trick here, and to add to that rich vein of form that he's already in.
Yes, it looks as though Leicester players are just making the way out. It looks as though Leicester could be making a change soon, or it looks like might be making a change at half time. Leicester City going into this second half. It'll be interesting to see how the game does pan out and if the change is the right call by Brendan Rodgers, and see how they go in this one. The players almost ready to come back out onto the field of play for second half coverage, just waiting for the referee Mike Dean to be all set and ready to go for the second half. So what I'm going to do, hand over to our commentator Mike Harniman and Jack Cunningham for second half action.
Okay, so we are just about to get underway for the second half in a minute. I just want to see who is coming off for that substitution as well. Of course, the man coming on is Luke Thomas there, the young fullback, and he is coming on in place of, I couldn't even see the number on the board there. Did you make out who that was coming off?
Yeah, so Marty's
coming off. So
Castagne's playing at right centre back now.
It makes quite a lot of sense, actually. Of course, Marty in that first half was targeted a little bit. The fact he's been out of position there, so Castagne's going to be moving across to centre back there, and I think that's quite a sensible move, really, from Leicester to do that.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's young Luke Thomas coming on as well, and of course he's a real bright spark for Leicester. He's a real promising player. I'm sure he's going to go on and do some really good things.
Yeah, academy graduate. I think 7th Premier League appearance now. This will be for him.
That's right, and of course Leicester are just in here now as well. It's got, who's that now? That is Ndidi on the ball. He's just going to play it into Tielemans now and get it back and switch it out to Castagna, who's now sort of playing, as we mentioned, more in that defensive role, sort of the right side of those centre backs. And now it's with Johnny Evans, who's going to switch the play out, and it's well defended there by the West Ham man. Got his head to that one and done very, very well there. Did Kufal, I think that was, and there's a free kick here in the centre of the park, and the referee Mike Dean is going straight to his pocket there, and that is the first yellow of the second half after not even a minute of it.
Yeah, I think I'm ahead of you. So
it's Ndidi. That's all right. It was Ndidi there. I think he might be just slightly ahead, but Wilfred Ndidi getting his 5th booking of the season.
Yeah, it was a pretty blatant yellow card that, I think, seeing it again. All the yellow cards have been fair enough, I feel, in my opinion, to be honest.
Yeah, I think there's not been any that have been called wrongly today so far. as Aaron Cresswell just knocks it back to Lucas Fabianski there now, and Fabianski's just going to take his time over this ball and just clear it long there. It's good head on by the Leicester man, which I think was Fofana that time, and it's now just Leicester playing it around in midfield, trying to knock it back, and it's just knocked back through Pereira to Castagna, and then it's all just playing around there with Ndidi trying to play out from the back a little bit. And what do you make of the teams that do that? Of course, when it works, it works very, very well. But when it doesn't work, then everyone's the first to blame that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's just a thing, isn't it, where everyone loves to have their team play.
Just bear with me. Souček's in there. Jarrod Bowen has scored. There's the third goal for West Ham. Sorry to cut you, but there you go. That is Jarrod Bowen. And West Ham are free to the good there. Now, it was good play by Souček to feed him through. Declan Rice is just coming out for the second half, and he's missed the goal there. But it was good play there for West Ham and a really neat finish as well. Poor defending from Leicester. Got caught out there at the back, and it was a good ball through to Jesse Lingard. And Jesse Lingard picks out Souček, and Souček gives the ball on to Jarrod Bowen, and really punished Leicester there for some sloppy defending.
Yeah, I mean, Leicester, we were talking about playing out from the back, weren't we? Leicester get caught. Lovely play by Lingard. Finds Souček. I think that's Souček's first actual assist in the Premier League since he joined. I mean, he loves the goals, but clever pass to Bowen. Bowen finishes it, and it's 3-0 to West Ham again. And they're just destroying Leicester this season. That's 6 goals now they've scored against them in 2 games. And they're just, it could be any score now from here, really, because West Ham look in the mood.
Yeah, they really do. And of course, they've, as we mentioned, Leicester have not really got anyone on the bench. So when they start to tire, this could be, as you say, it could be 5, it could be 6. You don't know really, but we've certainly seen some crazy results this season. So, this one would be up there with the likes of the Villa 7-2 and other results like that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think just West Ham this season, just incredible, to be honest. I mean, now, as you say, they're at 1 point behind Leicester now. They could really finish third. They could even challenge for second. Their fixtures are favourable. They just look a team in such good form. Everyone's playing well. They defend well. They attack brilliantly. It's just scary. I mean, Leicester have had a great season, but are Leicester starting to run out now? I don't know, of energy like they did last season? I don't know. We'll have to see.
It looks like they are starting to run out of steam a little bit. That was a collision there with Aaron Cresswell, and it looked like the decision's gone against him. But for me, I think the Leicester man there jumps into Cresswell's back, and the referee, Mike Dean, has halted play because of an injury here, but the free kick has gone in the opposite direction. It's actually gone in favour of Leicester.
Yeah, I mean, Cresswell's down injured now. Doesn't look too great looking at it. Could be something. I mean, just having a look on the replay here. It says he lands. Ooh, is it his knee? If it's his knee, he's in trouble.
I think he's jarred his knee there, yeah.
Yeah, because I don't know if you remember the Kurt Zouma one where he went up for Chelsea a few years ago and he landed and his knee pretty much exploded as he landed. That was
it gave way on him. Yeah.
Horrible.
Yeah.
And Cresswell could be in a bit of trouble here because that's usually a bad one. But he looks okay to carry on actually, which is good.
So it is currently West Ham 3, Leicester 0. The goal just come in just about 2 minutes into the second half through Jarrod Bowen to add to the 2 goals from Jesse Lingard. And Cresswell's all right. He's just walking off a little bit. Yeah. Well, I say he was a little bit ginger to start with, but he's moving around okay, so he should be all right to carry on.
Yeah, Bowen, I mean,
David Moyes is just giving him instructions. Go on, man.
No, I mean, Bowen, just going to say that, I thought he wasn't going to do, he was not going to fill that role for Antonio, but goal and assist, he's done everything and more for Antonio, really, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's had a good game so far, and of course, Antonio is unavailable, so he might be having to fill in for a couple of games now. I'm not too sure how serious that's going to be with Antonio. If he's going to miss next week's game as well.
Yes, I think Moyes was saying that he didn't want to put a time scale on it. Same with Declan Rice, but we'll have to see.
There's a substitution here. West Ham are going to get a man ready, and I think that's Aaron Creswell's afternoon done as well. I think the manager there, David Moyes, has given him an opportunity to go and try and see if he can run it off, and he's gone down again injured there, and it looks like that is the end of Aaron Creswell's Sunday afternoon of action.
Yeah, real shame for him because he's had a brilliant season. And as I said earlier, he's played every single game for West Ham. And I hope it's nothing too bad because he's been an integral part of this West Ham side this season, has Cresswell. But the fact no one was anywhere near him when the injury happened, you do have to worry about it.
And that's Fabian Balbuena coming on as well. And he's another player that has had a very good season for West Ham. You know, I think all of them have, but he's certainly capable of doing a job here, Balbuena. I'm sure he's going to come on and he's going to just help to see this one through. And yeah, hopefully Aaron Creswell is going to be all right and not have too long on the sidelines. And that was a good clearance upfield there. And West Ham, Mark Noble just trying to play the ball through, and it's now with Jarrod Bowen again. Lovely little bit of skill there and a good turn as well, and wins the free kick. And you know, you mentioned just a moment ago about how good Jarrod Bowen's been there, and that was some skill just to get away from his man.
Yeah, it was lovely, wasn't it?
There's an opportunity here for West Ham now. It's Jesse Lingard, I think that is, going to have a whip delivery in, and it's headed in for the fourth. And it is Issa Diop, I believe, there, who's got the fourth goal. And West Ham are cruising here now. We just said, 5-10 minutes ago that this could be any number. Quick free kick. Jesse Lingard, lovely bit of footwork there. Looks like he's offside. Just onside. And
onside? I don't know.
Yeah, might just be off. Might just be offside. Let's have a look. I don't know.
It's close.
It's a tight one.
It's close, but judging by his celebration, I think he knew he was offside. He didn't really celebrate. We'll have to see what.
It is a good header though, nonetheless. But I do think this will probably be disallowed for an offside. But we'll find out in a second, as Mike Dean is just gone to his officials, and he has indeed disallowed the goal there, and rightly so as well.
But Leicester are imploding, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. And they're not really offering anything in this first 10 minutes of the second half here as well. You haven't seen anything of Jamie Vardy or Iheanacho yet at all. When West Ham come out, they got the third goal in quick succession there to see, the advantage through and kind of add to that advantage. And then, Jamie Vardy's just got his first touch of the second half now, and here's Iheanacho. But even then, it was poor play, and West Ham tidied it up lovely and gives the ball to Jarrod Bowen, who's up against the number 3 for Leicester there, which is who was that? Fofana, who's just put it behind for a throw in. And Leicester are really struggling in the start of the second half to even get a foot on the ball, let alone trying to do anything with it.
Yeah, I mean, with that goal, I know it was disallowed. It was a great cross by Lingard, but I mean, who was marking Diop? He was totally free, 6 yards out, and it was like we just nod it in. And I don't know, Leicester need to do something about it here because the game's slipping away from them. And as we said, it really could be any score.
And that's like, Leicester there have made a defensive change at half time as well. And West Ham are still able to get at the back line there. And of course, Castagna's gone in at the back. Thomas has come on, and of course they've taken off Amasi, and they're still just getting all the joy really. Leicester, who are in here, West Ham and Leicester are in here though, and that was trying to play the ball across to, I think that might have been Pereira, who was just on run, but Leicester have got a chance here through Tielemans now, and it looked like there might have been a potential shove in the box there, but a referee says no, and right decision for me as well. I don't think that would have been. No, I think that would have been harsh if that was given.
Definitely harsh. No, lovely play by Tielemans though.
It's now with. It was, and it was good opportunity for them, and that's one of the first times they've got out of their own half really in this second half, and were able to do something with it. And it's now with Leicester just trying to get, I suppose, a little bit of possession really, because they've been under the cosh for the opening 11 minutes of the second half, and of course they have even there just lost out possession. So that West Ham know what they need to do in midfield. They're winning all the battles, and they're winning the game convincingly as well, as they did in the reverse.
Yeah, whatever Rodgers said to them at half time has not worked at all.
That's right, and of course we mentioned before that they haven't really got any options on the bench, and they've had to make one sub already with Thomas coming on, and it's just a throw in over here for West Ham now. That's Kufar, I believe, is that with a throw in, trying to throw it down to Jared Bowen, and it's just a good turn there from the Leicester man. He's proper spun in there. It was like he was. It wasn't like he was playing football. It was like he was maybe on Dancing on Ice or something with moves like that. But here's Jamie Vardy now. Anyway, and it's now with Pereira, and Ian Nacho's going to get an opportunity here. He's going to play it out. There's a shove in the box there, and Jamie Vardy's down in a heap. As he's still not up to his feet yet. As Leicester still have a bit of possession football. And indeed, he just knocks it back to Johnny Evans, and Jamie Vardy, I think, is just up to his feet now. And I know it was against.
Yeah, West Ham did really well.
Possibly that was a good play there as well. It was really good defending, but it's Jesse Lingard again who's coming up against. Who was that there? Castagna. He done really well there, did the Leicester man. And it's now with Pereira, and it's trying to find the ball out to. I think he was trying to find Dennis Pratt there, and he wasn't able to find him, and the ball's gone out of play. And just looking there on that one on Jamie Vardy again, I know it was Jamie Vardy was. So he's just made a sub here, in fact, as well. Just stay with me. Michael Brighton has just come on. He's replaced Dennis Pratt, and that was his last action there, trying to keep that ball in play, but it was. Very wayward, and he was never going to get on the end of that one.
Be interested to see what this does to the formation now with Albrighton on. Just have a look. It looks like it's Evans and Castagna playing as centre backs. Fofana, perhaps. Actually, it's probably perhaps the same formation. I think maybe Albrighton's gone out to the. I honestly can't work out where Albrighton is playing at the moment. So
let's have a look. Would he be on the right or the left, or would he just? I don't know.
Right, wouldn't he? But it looks like Pereira's there.
Yeah.
Albrighton's playing as the centre attacking midfielder by the looks of it.
Oh, so it's basically just a straight swap then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same formation.
Yeah. Okay, indeed. Now he plays it out. Yeah, possibly, especially when you're 3-0 down and you've got about half an hour as well. I did say Albrighton would get on at some stage, but I didn't expect it to be in these circumstances. I thought maybe Leicester might have. Tried to see if they could get a goal back, or maybe 2 goals back before they brought him on. But he is quite a creative player. And here is Tillemans now. He's going to try and feed the ball through to Vardy, but that was good defending there from the West Ham man. I think that was actually was that Souček? Couldn't quite see, in fact, where I was looking there. But there's a good turn there from the Leicester man. I think that was the number 14, Ian Nacho there, and that was good play from Lucas Fabianski to deny Albrighton, who's into the thick of things straight away. Yeah,
I mean, Fabianski did initially well, but then I felt he got a bit lucky with it coming out. He let go of it, and then it was blocked well. It's going to be a corner instead.
That's good play from Leicester. Ian Nacho trying to find onto Albrighton there. And yeah, you see it just slip through his fingers a bit. Just the delivery whips in. And well defended there by... that was... I think it was originally... might have been Diop, and it was just a bit of a wayward effort there from... Was that Ndidi?
Yeah, he should do better with that. He's got a clear effort at goal from about 10 yards out, and he's hit it miles over the bar in the end. So that goes down as a chance, I think, for Leicester, especially with how little they've had all afternoon. So I think that goes down as a chance.
Yeah, they have to really try and hit the target from there. And of course, I think he really just miscued that, and I don't know if it's set up in front of him, or I'm not too sure there, but it certainly was an opportunity for them to get a goal back as Lucas Fabianski just clears his lines to the Leicester half there.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like indeed he
It's
was just
a
being
good
nice,
opportunity for. Yeah, I was going to say it was a good opportunity for Leicester to get a goal back there, and I'm sure indeed he's going to be unhappy that he wasn't able to fire that one at Fabianski's goal. Johnny Evans there. It's good defending from Johnny Evans, of course, very experienced man for Leicester. Of course, he was at Manchester United as well, and of course, Northern Ireland as well. So I don't know how many games he's played for his respective club and country, but he's certainly one of the first names that was a very experienced man.
He's got 84 caps for Northern Ireland. And he's made over 100.
Of course, when he was at Man United, he was linked with Arsenal as well. Arsenal were looking for a centre-back, and Johnny Evans was the first name that everyone was going to. So that says a lot. In fact, was it actually? He might have been at Leicester at the time. In fact,
yeah. It was when he signed from West Brom, because they signed him for 3.6 million, and everyone was like, "Why Arsenal not in for him?" And you have to say, looking at how good Evans has been in the past, you have to say they should have been in for him, especially for that amount of money, £3.6 million.
It's a steal, and of course, Jamie Vardy, who's just found Dawson there, was another man that was linked with Arsenal not too long ago himself, and that was the whole situation in regards to the 40 million and a pound, wasn't it?
Yeah, Suarez, wasn't it, that one?
Yeah, but I think Jamie Vardy was a very similar kind of one as well, yeah.
Okay. Didn't know that before.
So it might not have been 40 million, it might have been a bit less or a bit more, but it was literally like a next to nothing addition on top of the valuation of the player, yeah.
Cheeky. Clubs don't like that.
No, for sure. And Jared Bowen's got a bit of a whack to the head there. And the referee, Mike Dean, has pulled that one up for a free kick. We've had, 64 minutes almost on the clock? Well, we will have in 7 seconds from now. And it's a good opportunity for West Ham here to get this fourth goal. Of course, they did score a fourth goal not that long ago, but it was disallowed for offside through the VAR correctly. And VAR actually got a decision right for once. But it's Jesse Lingard over this one now. He's going to whip it in. And it's good defending there. In fact, it was a little bit fortunate there. It looked like it was going to be almost straight onto the head of, was that Jared Bowen coming in as well? But Kasper Schmeichel come out and plugged it well in the end. But it actually looked better than it actually turned out. Well, it actually turned out better than it looked, sorry, I should say.
It was a fantastic ball in by Lingard. Absolutely brilliant. He can do no wrong at the moment.
And I'm sure Gareth Southgate, as you mentioned, being there this afternoon, I'm sure he's loving this performance he's getting from Jesse Lingard. And he's certainly got to be going off to the Euros. I'd probably start him, in fact, the form that he's been in this season as well, ahead of, maybe even a Raheem Sterling, or I don't really know who else. Maybe depends on the formation that's being played, really. But he's certainly
might not be fit.
Got that. That's true, because he's been out injured for the last few games. So, yeah, that's the point. As Michael Brighton delivers the ball in, and it's easily dealt with by Lucas Fabianski there. Goalkeeper that I know very well. He was, of course, on Arsenal's books and helped Arsenal to win the FA Cup, did Lucas Fabianski as well. And then he was let go, a little bit surprisingly, the Polish international.
Always felt underrated, Fabianski. I think at every single club he's been at. He's always a very, very solid Premier League goalkeeper.
Yeah, for sure. He's real talent as well. And, that's what Arsenal do, though. Arsenal love to get rid of these goalkeepers that are just starting to actually win on trophies or do well for them. But that was Kasper Schmeichel there. Just kind of miscued that one out to Pereira. And it's well headed back by Diop there, and he's got it back in possession now as well, and it was just shoved to the floor there by Albrighton, who was claiming that there was nothing in that, and he wanted a handball because I think he fell on the ball and then handled it. But Mark Noble, the experienced West Ham man, just knocks it onto Dawson, who knocks it across to Kufal via Balbrena there as well. And it's now Gerard Bowen who's dropped back into midfield there. And he was caught as well. And Mark Noble wants to take it quickly. As you mentioned, he's had so many appearances for West Ham. Of course, this is his last season as well, but I'm sure he will be involved on the coaching staff as of next year.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think I was reading something in The Athletic. They've already got a plan in place for him, what he's going to do when he does finish his contract at West Ham. So it's great to see him carry on being involved in the club. I think a man like that, you can't really allow to just sort of leave. I think that would be very harsh.
Yeah, and he's certainly helped Declan Rice with his game as well, and I'm sure we'll be able to help him a lot more through the coaching side of it. As Leicester are in here, it was Castagna, but it was well defended by, I think that was Diop again, who's had a very good game actually, the centre back, and I'm sure I'm probably going to curse him to make some sort of mistake now in the final 22 minutes of this game, but up until now he's done well as the West Ham Paraguay man.
Well, yeah, Diop.
Sorry, did I say Paraguay? I meant, yeah, Diop. Sorry, was who I was on about. Yeah, so the French man. Sorry, I should say. Correct myself.
I mean, with Diop, I mean, as I said, Egbonna is out injured, so he's been given his chance, and he's been solid today. He was heavily involved in that second goal. I think even when Egbonna's fit, I don't know, it would be pretty harsh to drop Diop if he continues to play like this.
Yeah, he's had a good game, and there was an opportunity there. That was Balbrena. That's the one I was on about, the Paraguay man, and he's had a decent half since he's come on as well. But the ball was just given away there now, and I think so is that Mark Albrighton just going to try and switch the play into midfield for who was that? I think that was Castagna just coming there, changing position a little bit, and is whipped into the box here towards Jamie Vardy, and he loses out. And that was actually seen very well behind by Kufal, and the man that we mentioned earlier has had a very, very good season, and he's very defensively solid, and yeah, he's doing a real good performance today again. He's putting in a lot for his team. He's putting in a good shift.
Yeah, I mean, he made his debut at the King Power. That was his first game for West Ham, and since then he's been ever present, and you can see why. I mean, he's got an engine on him. Seems to usually have the right decision. I know he didn't in one occasion in the first half, but he did for the first Lingard goal. For £5 million for a solid Premier League right back who's potentially going to finish in a team in the Champions League, can't really argue with how good he's been.
No, of course, and you're listening to Football Commentary Live as well. This is the first of a triple header today. We've got Tottenham and Manchester United a little bit later, and then following on from that, Arsenal's trip to Yorkshire to face off with Sheffield United. And of course, if you want to give us a follow, you can follow us on at Commentary Live 1. That's at, and then capital C, capital L for at Commentary Live 1. And Footcoms Live. As Leicester have just put the ball in the back of the net there as I was speaking through Ian Nacho, in fact. And it was a good finish. And finally, a little bit of hope for Leicester. And Ian Nacho, what's that, about fourth time? And it was actually poor defending from a West Ham perspective there. Got caught out. Who was that? I think that was actually who was that that gave the ball away there? Masuaku, yeah. Gave the ball away in a dangerous position there. And Leicester capitalised. Ian Nacho, thunderous shot into the back of the net. And finally, for their perspective, a little bit of hope for them and something to build on.
What an absolutely fantastic finish that is by Nacho. Gets out of his feet, hammers it a goal, no backlift on it whatsoever. It just arrows past Fabianski. It's a brilliant finish by Nacho. Is it game on? I don't know, but I mean, I don't know what Masuaku was doing, but you can't take anything away from Nacho. Great finish.
And that's about his fourth opportunity, and he's finally got one on target and been able to put one away. And as we said earlier, he's another man that's in a rich vein of form, and you know, I'm sure he's going to want to build on that now and try and help his side back into this and get another goal. And then you never know. If it gets to 3-2, then of course there's still plenty of time.
Moyes must be worrying because they were 3-0 up against Wolves, ended 3-2, 3-0 up against Arsenal, ended 3-3. There's something weird about West Ham going 3-0 up.
So what you're saying about this one is your link here that it's going to be 4-3 to Leicester now, is it?
No, I don't think that, but I think that there'll be nerves now in the West Ham team because they'll know what's happened, and Moyes, you could see him on the touchline there, he looked worried. So this goal does make a difference for Leicester because there'll be nerves coming in now.
That's right. And as I was saying before, just when the goal went in as well, of course, if you want to follow us, you can follow us on Twitter and Facebook. But Leicester are in here again. It's Castagna now, and it's Iheanacho, and it's an opportunity here for Albrighton there, and it's well defended by Masuaku, and it's just kept in by Castagna, and it's well defended once again, and Jesse Lingard just knocks it back to his centre back there, who just kind of plays it to, and that's Diop, his partner. Or he's one of his defenders there, and Johnny Evans has got the ball there now, and on to Pereira, sorry. And Leicester trying to make something happen here. Of course, still 3-1 down. That's good play there, and it's again Jarrod Bowen's on a little bit of a run here. He's done really well there to get away from two men, and that's surely got to be a yellow card as well. Be fortunate not to get a book in there.
He's already got a yellow card in Didi.
He done well there.
Oh, brilliant! Yeah,
he did well there, Jarrod Bowen. He got away from the pair of them there, and I think the referee's going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Oh. But it was Fofana as well, and Didi is certainly very fortunate there not to be getting a second yellow and then seeing red and going for that early bar.
Well, Fofana's on a yellow card as well, so. Both very, very lucky.
Yeah. But that would certainly make Leicester's afternoon a lot more difficult than it already is. And here's Jarrod Bowen again now. He's on another good little run here. And Kufa's going to try and whip it in. Jesse Lingard's in there on that hat-trick, of course, and was well defended by the Leicester backline. And it's now just with Thomas, is it? It finally... get to mention him, and it's now Tielemans trying to play the ball through, and Iheanacho was in there, but that was some really good defending by the centre back Craig Dawson, and just knocked it on to Fabianski, and Iheanacho just got himself a goal, but Craig Dawson was the man that beat him to the ball down and done very well. Very good defending.
All of his experience there, Craig Dawson, because that was a brilliant ball by Tielemans, and Iheanacho had a sniff, but Dawson shut the door.
That's right. And of course, Iheanacho is already in such a rich vein of form, and I'm sure he would have fancied himself to go on and to put that one past Lucas Fabianski, and then you never know what might happen. But it's a good ball through here now, and that's Jamie Vardy onto Albrighton here, the substitute, and Iheanacho turns again, and it's well blocked. It's a little bit of a weak shot, in fact, but indeed he tries to find Pereira now, and Pereira's just going to knock it into midfield to Tielemans. He's going to fire one at the goal, and that is a great block there from the West Ham man, who's down injured as well there. But a little bit of better build-up play from Leicester and good defending from Mark Noble there, showing all that experience that we've mentioned on a number of occasions already this afternoon.
100% commitment from Mark Noble there, because Tielemans had worked the space well. It's a decent place to have a shot, isn't it? Just on the edge of the box. You could probably got a decent chance of at least hitting the target from there. So Noble, fantastic defending. And also now, good game management from him as well, staying down and killing some time for killing the momentum of Leicester.
Yeah, of course, because they had actually just kind of, got the goal, and on the back of getting that goal and a route back into the game possibly, have been on top a little bit as well. So Martin Noble there showing all his experience and doing what he needs to do. Of course, if West Ham need to make any subs, they've only got, well, I suppose in that position, a couple of the younger lads. I think it's Coventry. Is he a midfielder? I know they're just stripping somebody off now. Is that Ben Rama coming on?
Yeah, but that's Ben Rama coming on. Connor Coventry is a midfielder, yeah.
So he could possibly be an option, but Ben Rama is going to come on, and I'm just trying to see. Maybe they'll drop Jarrod Bowen back into midfield, maybe, if they want to put him through the middle and not risk Mark Noble anymore.
Yeah, Noble looks quite a lot of pain. Actually, looks like his hand, doesn't it? Could be
Yeah.
dislocated fingers or something bad like that. Yeah, he looks quite a lot of pain. Noble. Yeah, I don't know what. I don't know what.
And of course, they're without.
Fornals maybe moving to centre midfield.
Yeah, they're without. Yeah, possibly. Yeah, they're without Declan Rice as well. I know. Can Balbuena, can he move forward and play sort of centre mid or defensive mid, or is that more just
maybe,
a defender?
I'm just thinking when West Ham signed Fornals from Villarreal, he usually played in centre midfield or as an attack midfielder. So.
Okay, right. So maybe that will be what they'll do. They're just going to treat Noble here now, and of course they've just got to deal with this free kick without him as well. And it's whipped in by Albrighton and well defended there, but it's an opportunity here for Leicester still. And Jamie Vardy has got the ball in possession over on the left touchline, and it's forced back to Tielemans. And Leicester there, 18 goals scored beyond the 75th minute, and of course they need to at least get that up to 20 this afternoon.
Oh,
they want to get a result.
Looks like Noble's carrying on, which I'm surprised about. But, fair play.
That's Mark Noble for you, though. He's the kind of man that will fight to the cause until the very end, and that's it's a real exceptional talent is Mark Noble, and of course he shows a lot of fight as well. And I think he just wants to help his side over the line, so you can't really blame him for that one.
No, definitely not. It's great. It's great to see. I just thought that maybe medical advice would get him off, but Fornals had dropped into that midfield role. He's back into his normal role now. But yeah, we'll have to see if Benrahma does come on.
I think Benrahma was going to come on. I don't know whether that would have been a change anyway, but it's still a wait in that one as Pereira and Ndidi just exchange passes here in the midfield. And Ndidi is going to switch the play out to the left flank there, and it's now on to Tielemans. And Thomas gets the ball through to Tielemans again, and good defending there by the West Ham right back, or the back line, Kufal, and put behind for a throw-in. We've got, about 11 and a bit minutes left of the game, and any stoppage time on top of that as well. And Leicester are trying to really pull the strings a little bit now. They're really trying to get at this West Ham back line. And, of course, that Iheanacho goal has given them a little bit of hope. But, as I mentioned before, West Ham on the counter-attack might be clinical. It's a good ball here into Jamie Vardy. It's acrobatics there from Lucas Fabianski. And it's going to be Pereira, and then he's got it back as well. Pereira's going to have a shot here, is he? No, he finds Tielemans and gives it back to Pereira, and Pereira's in. And is that a foul possibly there from Lucas Fabianski? Yeah, it looked like he was going away. So it would have been a tight one there.
Oh, I think it's brilliant goalkeeping by Mark. Oh, he just gets the ball.
It looked like he clips him possibly, but let's just see it again from this angle.
He gets the ball first.
Yeah, just got the ball. Yeah.
Brilliant goalkeeping.
Great goalkeeping from Fabianski there.
Lovely feet from Pereira.
Really brave there. That was really brave from Fabianski, who done really well there. And as I was just saying beforehand, Leicester are coming into the ascendancy a bit now, and of course need the next goal. And they're looking like they might get it.
Yeah, I mean, they look team transformed, don't they? You can tell West Ham have definitely got a bit more. There's a
chance here, and it's on towards Jamie Vardy, but that was just a ball through to Jamie Vardy there, and Lucas Fabianski come out and done well. And it looks like West Ham are going to be making a sub. It isn't Benrahma coming on, though. It's the young Ben Johnson who's going to be coming on, the number 31.
Yeah, well, that shows you the Moyes is intending to shut up shop now.
Yeah, because he's a centre-back by trade, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's a full back, but he can play centre back, yes.
Oh, he feels, yeah. And he's coming on to replace Mark Noble. So Mark Noble is just going to give his captain's armband. I'm not quite sure who to, but Mark Noble hasn't been able to run off that injury. He's just got a minute ago, and sensibly, David Moyes has said, "Yeah, that's good enough for you today. We'll bring you off, and we'll see if we can get you fit for next weekend."
Yep, definitely. I mean, Noble, really good, committed performance from him, as you would expect. It'd be interesting to see where Ben Johnson plays now and what sort of formation West Ham go with now, but a sensible substitution because Noble was obviously in pain.
I'm not too sure who he's given the captain's armband to at the moment. I couldn't quite see. I know he forwarded it on to Mike Dean. And Mike Dean, I think, was going to give it on to the West Ham man there, but I couldn't quite see.
Yeah, I'll have to.
Who would you expect?
I'll keep an eye out.
Yeah,
maybe Souček, Dawson, maybe someone like that.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, because of course Declan Rice would be the next candidate normally, but of course he's unavailable as well. Here's Tillemans now for Leicester, and he's going to play it out to Fofana, and he's going to get it across the Belgian Castagna now, and on to Pereira, and then Pereira into Ndidi. You're going to find the run of Jamie Vardy now. Jamie Vardy's going to cut back, is he? Yeah, he's been forced to cut back and give the ball to Castagna there, and 1-2 with Jamie Vardy, and Jamie Vardy wasn't able to be on the same wavelength as his counterpart there.
Yeah, I thought Vardy could have
the
got that.
Belgian man. It was good defending from Masuaku though. He's put in a decent performance, as we said before. He's looked quite assured really at the back.
Yeah, I've got to be honest. Before this season, I've never rated Masuaku, but I think he's been transformed under David Moyes. Fair play.
You've done well there to get that one behind off of him for a corner ball as well, as we are entering the closing stages of what's been a very entertaining game. And Michael Brighton here for Leicester is going to whip this corner in one hand in the air, and he delivers that one almost onto the head of Castagna, and it was well defended there. And Luke Thomas just knocks it back to Fofana, who just clears it out to Albrighton, and then Albrighton just touches it on to Tillemans there, and it's well defended by Dawson, and West Ham have got an opportunity to break now. And they're going to get the next sub ready, and it is Ben Rama. Ben Rama, he's going to get some game time. I think maybe just a moment ago when he saw what was happening with Mark Noble and then the change in the substitution, he might have been thinking, I might not get to any game time today, but Jarrod Bowen is coming off, and he's had an exceptional game, certainly a contender for man of the match with the goal and the assist that he's got.
I think most people give it a Lingard, but I would generally give it a Bowen. I think he's been an absolute menace up front today. Lovely awareness for the assist, and it was a great finish for his goal as well. So he would be my man of the match. Bowen, been a brilliant performance from him.
We'll let you know who it actually does go to, who I give it to. It'd be certainly between one of those two, no doubt, I'm sure. But Mark Noble's in with a shout as well. Of course, Masuaku, there's a few players on there. But here is Ndidi now. He plays it out to Thomas, and Thomas knocks it into the midfield, and it's now through Tillemans onto Castagna. And then out to Pereira now, and he knocks it on to Michael Brighton. And Michael Brighton tries to find Iheanacho, but that was good defending by Dawson as West Ham just clear it long, but only as far as Johnny Evans, who's up from the back. And Pereira now on to Albrighton. Albrighton's going to try and just play a short ball in here, and he gets it back as well. There's a chance here for Leicester, possibly, if they're able to open it up. Here's Iheanacho. Yuri Tillemans now as well. Just 1-2 there. Gets it back, and then on to Pereira. And Pereira's going to whip it in. And well claimed there by Lucas Fabianski as a collision there with Dawson, who's centre back as well. But just rolls over, and both up and perfectly fine to continue. And that maybe you might have thought a bit more game management there from West Ham, but Dawson and Fabianski both up to their feet relatively quickly.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, it's pretty relentless pressure from Leicester now, but West Ham are holding really firm and strong and dealing with what the Foxes have to throw at them. I've been very impressed with David Moyes' side this afternoon.
Yeah, they've put in a good performance, and of course, as we mentioned, we'll go up to fourth as well. We're ahead of Chelsea, and only that 1 point behind Leicester, with a decent, favourable run in as well. Of course, they play, as I mentioned before, Chelsea at home. I think they play Everton as well within that run in. But there's other teams in there who are certainly winnable matches. As Castagna just gives the ball onto Tielemans now, and he tries to find the on-run in Jamie Vardy, and Lucas Fabianski there just about in his box picks that one up, and Jamie Vardy puts his hand up to say, "Yeah, thanks for trying to attempt that," but he wasn't able to get on the end of that, and Lucas Fabianski done very, very well there to come out and to tidy it up. And here's Iheanacho now, one to Mark Albrighton, and Albrighton's going to just take a couple of touches and then play it into the midfield, and there's an opportunity here now through Ndidi, and he's going to fire that one as a good block. Of course, from the Leicester man, Iheanacho was in there as well. I thought Ndidi might have had another touch there, maybe. I don't know whether that would have been plausible or not. Here's Albrighton now. Into the area he goes. And he's just won a corner, as I thought, but I think it might have actually gone behind off of the Leicester man. And then it might have been him that got the last touch there. I just want to see again.
It wouldn't.
It was a good turn, though. And
I think it is a corner, but it's been given. It's a corner, but it's a goal kick. It's Masuaku stabs it out of play, but
yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it come off of Masuaku last, and I think Mike Dean has got that one wrong. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, going back to the Iheanacho Ndidi chance, I thought Iheanacho was going to shoot. Actually, it looked like it opened up onto his left foot, going to bend it in that corner. Played it to Ndidi. Ndidi, not exactly the person you want having a shot from long range. He hasn't got an amazing goal scoring record, so I thought Iheanacho made the wrong choice there.
As they've just announced on the Sky that Jarrod Bowen has got man of the match, and certainly deserves an honourable mention, at least, if he's not going to be given my man of the match from this second half. But as we mentioned before, goal and an assist, playing in a little bit out of position as well through the middle there, and he's put in a good performance. And certainly him and also Jesse Lingard as well are two key factors in what looks like West Ham getting the 3 points.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I just think the way Bowen led the line was brilliant as well, because as you say, it's not his natural position. And he struggled at the beginning. Fofana was all over him, and it looked like Fofana was going to get the better of that battle. But in the end, Bowen, absolutely superb performance from him.
And we have a couple of lines as well, which of course is the next one with Matt Isles, and just got a throw in here. Sure, McTominay, Fred, opportunity. Yeah.
Yeah, 3-2 now.
Yeah.
Anything they can find in the cupboard. Here's Mark and Luke Thomas there. There's Lawson, who done very well. Kasper Schmeichel's up from the back. Peter Schmeichel's gone and grabbed a couple of last-minute equalisers himself.
Yeah, Schmeichel has scored.
It's whipped through now towards Jamie Vardy. Peter Schmeichel did them, yeah. And you can see there that David Moyes is looking very unhappy in regards to some of that defending. He's trying to push him forward and say, yeah, get up the field. Because, of course, the best form of defence is through your attack, which is completely right. And here is Ben Rama now for West Ham, and he's going to just slow the play down a moment there and give it back to Kufau. Just trying to feed the ball to Ben Rama again. It's given away there, and Leicester through Tielemans and Fofana just knock it back to Kasper Schmeichel. And Iheanacho has certainly put in a good performance for Leicester. He's been there or thereabouts on a number of occasions, got himself 2 goals, and on another day, if this was a result that was going in Leicester's favour, he could be a potential candidate for man of the match as well. We've only got 1 minute of the stoppage time left, so I will run you through my man of the match in a moment. And Iheanacho here on to Albrighton and on to Pereira, and it's Masuaku again who's put the ball out of play for a throw-in, and David Moyes there just saying one more minute to go, I think he's saying there, and just kind of stay switched on, stay focused. But my man of the match for today's game is Jesse Lingard. I'm going to give it to. I know Jarrod Bowen, of course, was involved in a goal as well, getting himself a goal, and also been involved in the other one through an assist. But Jesse Lingard, for me, continuing that rich vein of form for West Ham, and he's the man that I have decided to go with. as Leicester are in it now. Mazuaku and Diop just on to Albrighton there. There's a chance here for Leicester, and it's Pereira. He's into the area, and it's well defended there. But actually, he's got a second bite of the cherry there, and well defended pretty much off the line there from the West Ham man. And Albrighton gets it back for a, what's that? Is that a corner ball? Last dying seconds, or is it going to be a throw? I think it is a corner, so Schmeichel's up again. About 5 seconds left now. See if he can grab that last second equaliser, I should say, as Albrighton delivers it in onto the West Ham head there. And Jamie Vardy, I think that wasn't. It's headed wide of the goal by Fofana. And that is probably that for Leicester. They've given all that they've got on the back of getting these 2 goals through Iheanacho. But West Ham look like they've seen it through here to get the 3 points. And indeed they have as well. They've held firm in the end, have the side from London, and up to 4th ahead of London rivals Chelsea, just 1 point behind Leicester. And of course, only the 5 points behind second place Man United as well. So, Jack, what did you make of that second half? And there's a good comeback in the end from Leicester, but not quite enough from them.
Yeah, I mean, going down 3-0, we said it could have been any score, but fair play to Leicester. Great comeback, great goal by Iheanacho to get started. And you just knew as soon as they got one back, because of West Ham's sort of inability to cling on to 3-0 leads, that there was going to be some nerves and they were going to have chances. And I'll tell you what, that Fofana chance at the end, he's in the middle of the box. He's totally free. Should probably score, really. But it was a great game of football, wasn't it? It was absolutely fantastic game of football. 2 really good sides. Defending not exactly up to scratch on most occasions, but I think most of the goals were quality. So, yeah, it was a great game of football. I really enjoyed it.
And of course, I've given my man of the match to Jesse Lingard, and there was a few players in there that deserved a shout. Of course, Mark Noble had a very good 80 minutes or so, 81, 82 minutes since he was on. Of course, Mazuaku looked quite assured really at the back for the majority, and Jared Bowen got himself a goal and an assist as well. But Jesse Lingard, of course, we mentioned earlier, put in a really good performance, and he's my man of the match. And you probably can't argue too much with that, although Jared Bowen certainly might be, because he's fully in with a shout himself.
Yes, I agree there, Mike. So, brilliant commentary, by the way, Mike and Jack, today. Thank you for your fantastic work. Just running through some scores from.
What I will say is it's always the way when you have a technical issue, something happens, and we missed the goal. Well, we didn't quite miss the goal, but it was a good finish there. I've just seen the replay. It was well put in by Iheanacho. Maybe the defence might have done a little bit better from West Ham as well, but yeah, technical issues are things that you just kind of have to deal with sometimes. But it was an entertaining game anyway.
Yeah, that's okay, Mike. I just stepped in for you and just covered that moment for you and cover the game until you got back. But let's look at the other scores from today. Then in the Premier League early kick-off, Burnley 1, Nooks United 2. Fantastic result for Nooks. So the game we've just brought to you, West Ham United 3, Leicester City 2. Tottenham Hotspur v Manchester United at 4:30 coming up with John Kane and Matt Isles. At 7 o'clock, we've got Sheffield United versus Arsenal with John Stuttard making his Football Commentary Live debut, or JB as he's also known as. In the Scottish Premiership half time, it's Rangers 1, Hibernian 0 with that scoreline. As well, I mentioned earlier, I'll just mention it again for anyone latecomers. In the Women's International Friendly, finished Japan 7, Panama 0. In that game, if we have a look down in La Liga, Villarreal 1, Osasuna 2 as a result. Valencia currently 2-0 down against Real Sociedad on 45 minutes played in that match. We have Olid versus Granada and Real Betis versus Atletico Madrid play later on this evening. Schalke 1 up against Augsburg, 75 minutes gone in that match. FC Cologne v Mainz are playing later in the German Bundesliga as well. Italian Serie A, some results are in for you now. Inter 1, Cagliari 0, Juventus 3, Genoa 1, Sampdoria 0, Napoli 1, and Lazio beat Hellas Verona 1-0 away from home. 2 games later, as Roma take on Bologna and Fiorentina take on Atalanta. In Ligue 1 in France, they finished Rennes 1, Nantes nil, Brest 1, Nimes 1, Lens 4, El Orient 1, Nice nil, Rennes nil, Saint Etienne 4, Bordeaux 1 as well. Monaco v Dijon kicking off round about any moment now as Lyon take on Angers at 8 o'clock this evening as well. And in the Australian A League, Wellington Phoenix 3, Western United 2 is another scoreline. So those are the results from this one. Just one final word on the West Ham game, just to round it out. Mike, we did say that if West Ham got the third goal, it was going to be game over, but as you mentioned, man, fantastic fight back from Leicester, but just not enough in the end. And if we just score, if we just score a goal just before half time to make it 2-1, potentially they could have gone on and got a point there, or maybe even gone to win. Would you agree with that statement, Mike?
Yeah, well, if you look at West Ham, they obviously scored the goals in really good times as well, just before half time and just after half time. And then it's really difficult to come back from when you're 3-0 down after, 47, 48 minutes, I believe it was. And yeah, it's always going to be a little bit more difficult for Leicester when they've conceded the goals in that, sort of time frame there. And actually, West Ham, that's only the third of their last 14 meetings that they've beaten Leicester in all competitions, I believe, as well. And they recorded their first league double over Leicester since 1999-2000. So it's a good performance from West Ham. Unlucky from Leicester. They did put a good fight in towards the end, but David Moyes also unbeaten against Leicester as well in the last 4 Premier League matches for his respective clubs to make that 5 now. And yeah, it was a good performance from them, and they've managed to see it through. But I'm sure Leicester can take a lot from the end of that game and the fight that was shown. I'm sure they've got a good opportunity there to build on that next time out. And if they defend a little bit better, and of course, try and stay a little bit more switched on just before and just after half time, then it's possibly going to be a different result. Or I say it could have been a different result there.
Absolutely, there, Mike. And just one final word from you, Jack, before we end this broadcast. If you were Brendan Rodgers, Jack, what would you be saying to your side right now in the dressing room having lost this game by 3 goals to 2, especially after that second half
Well,
performance?
they were without a few players. I'm just looking now. They actually breached COVID rules. That's the reason they didn't have quite a few of their players. So that's pretty unacceptable, really, isn't it? From the likes of Maddison, who was missing. That's why he was missing. So they were without a few good players. But first half they did put some nice like bits of football together. They just had no end product. And then as soon as Albrighton came on, they were a bit more direct. They got the ball in the box more. They put pressure on West Ham. They were a bit unlucky in the end, really, not to get something from the game. But I think overall, you would say West Ham did deserve it for the first 70-minute performance. But Leicester did come into it strongly. I think for them now, they just need to refocus, get on with it. They've got a pretty tough run in, I believe. They play quite a few of their rivals, but they have got enough to finish in the top 4. They've just got to, take the positives from this, but also need to just clear it from their heads, really, and get on with it next week. I still believe they finish in the top 4, but it's going to be a bit tighter than I think it was going to be originally.
Yes, and we're going to wrap up this coverage here today. We'll be back on air in around about 5 minutes' time for build up to our second of a triple header as Tottenham take on Manchester United with John Kane and Matt Iles bringing you that commentary. So, from myself, from Jack, and from Mike, thank you very much for listening. I will see you again very, very soon. See you in a few moments.